Imagine this. You're calm, collected, and entirely in control of your emotions. You exude a quiet confidence that turns heads wherever you go, and people, yes, even that woman you've been thinking about, start to gravitate toward you effortlessly. No gimmicks, no tricks, no desperate tactics. Instead, you radiate something rare in today's world: inner mastery. What if I told you that ancient Stoic philosophy holds the secrets to this magnetic presence? The Stoics believed that true power lies within. Through mastering your mind, emotions, and actions, you influence the world around you without force or manipulation. By understanding and applying these 7 Stoic psychological hacks, you'll unlock a level of self-respect and resilience that's not just attractive but irresistible. This isn't about playing games. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally commands respect and admiration, not by chasing anyone, but by living with purpose and clarity. The irony? When you stop chasing, they start chasing you. Get ready to transform how you see yourself, relationships, and life itself. The journey begins now. The Stoic foundations of attraction. What truly makes a person attractive? Is it their appearance, their charm, or the way they carry themselves? While modern culture often points to surface-level traits, the ancient Stoics would argue that true attraction goes much deeper. It starts from within. To the Stoics, attraction isn't about impressing others. It's about embodying virtues that inspire admiration and respect. Take the example of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor whose wisdom and composure captivated those around him. Despite his immense power, he didn't rely on wealth, status, or appearance to command respect. Instead, he focused on mastering himself, his emotions, his actions, and his sense of purpose. This inner mastery made him magnetic, not just to his allies, but even to his adversaries. People were drawn to his calm demeanor, his unshakable integrity, and his ability to remain steadfast in the face of chaos. So what can we learn from Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics when it comes to attraction? The first and most important lesson is this: attraction is rooted in self-mastery. When you take control of your emotions and cultivate inner peace, you project a sense of confidence and stability that others instinctively find appealing. It's not about putting on a facade or trying to impress anyone. It's about being so grounded in your values and sense of self that others can't help but take notice. In today's world, emotional stability is a rare commodity. We live in a time where instant gratification and reactive behaviors dominate our interactions. But imagine being the person who doesn't get flustered by setbacks, who doesn't crumble under pressure, and who radiates calm even in the storm. That's what makes you stand out. Stoicism teaches us that the key to this kind of stability lies in focusing only on what we can control. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple yet profound principle is the cornerstone of the Stoic approach to attraction. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, whether it's other people's opinions or the outcomes of your efforts, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety, and in that freedom you create a presence that's magnetic. Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about becoming. It's about embodying qualities like resilience, self-control, and authenticity, all of which are timelessly appealing. Think about it. Who wouldn't want to be around someone who exudes calm confidence, who listens intently, and who navigates life's challenges with grace? But self-mastery is just the beginning. Once you've built a strong foundation, the next step is learning how to apply this inner mastery in your interactions with others. How do you maintain emotional equanimity in real-life situations? And how does this translate into deeper, more meaningful connections? Let's dive into the first practical Stoic hack: mastering your emotions. To create an aura of calm, control, and undeniable confidence. Stay with me. This is where the magic begins. Hack 1: the power of self-mastery. Let's start with one of the most profound yet misunderstood concepts in Stoicism: self-mastery. At its core, self-mastery is about one thing: control. But not control over others or the external world. It's about control over yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. And believe it or not, this inner control is the secret weapon that makes you not just attractive but magnetic. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who remains calm in the face of chaos? Someone who doesn't lash out when provoked or crumble under pressure? There's something undeniably powerful about a person who's in control of themselves. That's because self-mastery signals strength, and strength is universally appealing. The Stoics were masters of this concept. They understood that emotions, while natural, should never dictate your actions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This realization is the foundation of self-mastery. So how do you cultivate this strength? Start by separating what you can control from what you can't. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or insecurity creeping in, pause. Ask yourself, is this emotion helping me, or is it controlling me? The very act of questioning your emotions creates distance between you and them, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. For example, imagine you're in a conversation and someone says something that feels like a personal attack. Most people would either lash out or withdraw, both of which are reactive responses. But a Stoic would pause, recognize the emotion of anger or hurt, and choose not to act on it. Instead, they might respond calmly, or even redirect the conversation in a constructive way. That composure doesn't just diffuse tension, it commands respect and admiration. Self-mastery isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about acknowledging them without letting them dictate your behavior. And this kind of emotional intelligence is incredibly attractive. Why? Because it shows that you're not at the mercy of your impulses. It shows that you're grounded, confident, and in control, a rare and admirable combination in a world full of emotional reactivity. And here's the beauty of self-mastery. It's contagious. When you're calm, others around you feel calmer. When you're in control, others feel safe in your presence. This ripple effect is why self-mastery is one of the most powerful tools, not just for personal growth, but for building deep, meaningful connections. But mastering yourself is only half the battle. Once you've gained control over your emotions, the next step is learning how to project this calm and control outward, especially in your interactions. How do you remain emotionally grounded when life throws curveballs or when relationships become challenging? That's where the second Stoic hack comes in, the art of emotional equanimity. Let's dive into how this timeless principle can transform your relationships and elevate your presence to a whole new level. Hack 2: Emotional Equanimity in Action. If self-mastery is the foundation of Stoic attraction, emotional equanimity is the pillar that keeps it standing tall. Emotional equanimity, what the Stoics called ataraxia, is the ability to remain calm, composed and balanced no matter what life throws at you. And in a world full of emotional volatility, this trait is like a rare gem that instantly sets you apart. Picture this. You're on a date and something unexpected happens. Maybe your plans fall apart, or your date makes a comment that could be taken as a critique. The average person might panic, overreact, or let their emotions take over. But not you. Instead, you smile, take a breath, and adapt effortlessly. That sense of calm, it speaks volumes. It shows confidence, resilience, and emotional strength, all of which are deeply attractive. The Stoics believe that external events don't disturb us. Our judgments about them do. Epictetus famously said, "It's not things that upset us, but our opinions about things." This is the key to emotional equanimity, recognizing that you have the power to reinterpret any situation in a way that serves you rather than destabilizes you. Let's make this practical. Imagine you've been ghosted by someone you were interested in. It's easy to spiral into self-doubt or frustration, but a Stoic would approach this differently. They'd remind themselves that the other person's actions are outside their control and, therefore, not worth their emotional energy. Instead, they'd focus on what they can control, their response. Perhaps they'd use the experience as a reminder of their own resilience or as an opportunity to refine what they're looking for in a partner. This level of emotional balance doesn't just protect your peace, it attracts others. Why? Because emotional equanimity creates an aura of security. People want to be around someone who can weather storms without falling apart, who can face adversity with grace, and who doesn't let the small things shake their foundation. To cultivate emotional equanimity, practice reframing challenges as opportunities. When something doesn't go your way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow because of this? This shift in perspective not only keeps you grounded, but also strengthens your character. Remember, emotional equanimity isn't about being emotionless. It's about being unshaken. It's about being the calm center in a chaotic world. And when you embody this quality, you naturally draw others toward you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because your steadiness inspires trust and admiration. But equanimity doesn't exist in isolation. To truly make it a part of your presence, it needs to be paired with intentionality. How can you practice indifference to things that don't serve you while remaining fully engaged in what matters most? That brings us to the third Stoic hack, practicing intentional indifference. Let's explore how this principle can help you let go of distractions and focus on what truly makes you magnetic. Hack 3. Practicing intentional indifference. In a world full of distractions, opinions, and endless noise, the ability to focus on what truly matters is a superpower. The Stoics called this apatheia, not to be confused with apathy or a lack of care, but rather a deliberate indifference to things that don't align with your purpose or values. This principle, when applied correctly, can transform how others perceive you and how you live your life. Let's start with a relatable scenario. Imagine you're in a conversation and someone subtly criticizes your choices. Maybe it's your career, your hobbies, or even your appearance. The typical reaction might be to feel offended, get defensive, or try to prove yourself. But here's the truth. Their opinion only holds the power you give it. A Stoic, instead of reacting emotionally, would remain indifferent to such criticisms, recognizing them as external noise that has no bearing on their true worth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This strength lies in discerning what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Practicing intentional indifference means letting go of the things that don't serve your growth, whether they're trivial conflicts, unconstructive criticism, or fleeting distractions. But how does this principle make you attractive? Simple. People are naturally drawn to someone who doesn't seek external validation. When you carry yourself with an air of self-assurance, when you're unbothered by petty opinions or superficial judgments, you become a person of intrigue and respect. This isn't about arrogance. It's about aligning your focus with what truly matters to you and radiating that inner clarity. Here's a practical exercise to cultivate this mindset. The next time you're faced with an insult or criticism, pause and ask yourself, does this opinion change who I am? Most of the time, the answer is no. Let that realization free you from the need to react. Instead, redirect your energy toward things that align with your goals and values. Intentional indifference also applies to relationships. For instance, consider the common dating mistake of over-pursuing someone who isn't reciprocating the same energy. The more you chase, the less attractive you appear. Why? Because chasing often signals a lack of self-respect and scarcity. Practicing intentional indifference flips the script. Instead of desperately trying to win someone over, you focus on your own growth and fulfillment. And in doing so, you create space for people to come to you. Because nothing is more magnetic than someone who is complete and content on their own. This kind of focus and self-assurance signals that you're not desperate for attention or approval. You prioritize what truly matters, and that sets you apart in a world where most people are consumed by trivialities. But here's the question. How do you pair this intentional indifference with genuine confidence and authenticity? That's where the fourth Stoic hack comes in, building authentic confidence. Let's dive into how this timeless principle can reshape not only how you see yourself, but how others see you. Hack 4, building authentic confidence. What is confidence? Most people think it's about loudness, bravado, or proving your worth to others. But true authentic confidence, the kind that draws people to you effortlessly, is far more subtle and profound. It's not about shouting, "Look at me," but about quietly embodying self-assurance. And for the Stoics, confidence came from one source, living in alignment with your values and principles. Let's take a moment to examine what authentic confidence looks like. Imagine someone walking into a room. They're not the loudest or the flashiest person there, but there's something about them that commands attention. They're grounded, composed, and seem completely at ease with themselves. This is the kind of confidence that doesn't need to be announced, it speaks for itself. The Stoics believe that confidence is built from within. It's not something you get from achievements, possessions, or other people's approval. Those are fleeting. Instead, true confidence comes from knowing you're acting in accordance with your highest self. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." When your actions align with your principles, you eliminate the inner conflict that so often undermines confidence. So how can you cultivate this kind of confidence? Start by identifying your core values. What do you stand for? Honesty, kindness, courage. Once you're clear on your values, Measure your actions against them every day. When you consistently act in ways that reflect your values, you begin to trust yourself. And that self-trust is the root of authentic confidence. Confidence is also about embracing your imperfections. No one is perfect, and the Stoics understood this better than most. They didn't strive for perfection, they strove for progress. Epictetus reminded his students, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Confidence grows when you're not afraid to fail or look imperfect, because you know your worth isn't tied to external outcomes. Here's an example. You're meeting someone new, and you feel the usual nerves creeping in. Instead of trying to impress them or overthink every word, focus on being present and genuine. Authentic confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. People are drawn to those who are comfortable in their own skin, imperfections and all. And here's the beauty of this kind of confidence, it's magnetic because it's rare. In a world where so many people are trying to prove themselves, someone who quietly exudes self-assurance stands out. You're not trying to be someone you're not. You're simply being the best version of yourself. That's what makes it so powerful. But confidence isn't just about how you carry yourself. It's also about how you interact with others. Are you truly present? Do you listen with intention? That brings us to the fifth Stoic hack, the art of active listening. Let's explore how mastering this skill can deepen your connections and amplify your presence. Hack 5, the art of active listening. In an age where distractions are everywhere and genuine conversations are rare, the ability to truly listen is a superpower. Active listening doesn't just make you more likable, it makes you magnetic. Why? Because people crave to be seen, heard, and understood. The Stoics, with their emphasis on attentiveness and mindfulness, mastered the art of listening long before it became a buzzword. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." At first glance, this might seem like a simple observation, but it's a profound reminder of the value of listening. To the Stoics, listening wasn't just about gathering information, it was an act of presence and respect. When you listen deeply, you show others that they matter, and that in itself is incredibly attractive. Let's break this down in practical terms. Imagine you're in a conversation, but instead of just waiting for your turn to speak or formulating a response in your head, you focus entirely on the other person. You maintain eye contact, nod subtly, and reflect back what you hear. For example, if someone shares a story about their struggles, you might say, "That sounds really challenging. How did you handle it?" This kind of engagement not only shows that you're paying attention, but also that you care. Active listening goes beyond words. It's about picking up on tone, body language, and even what's not being said. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, or anticipating challenges. In the context of listening, it means tuning into the subtleties of what someone is expressing so you can respond thoughtfully. Here's why this matters. When you actively listen, you create a safe space for others to open up. You become the person people want to talk to because you make them feel valued and understood. And in a world where so many conversations are superficial, this quality sets you apart. But active listening isn't just about others, it's also about you. When you listen deeply, you become more attuned to the dynamics of the conversation. You pick up on cues that help you navigate interactions more effectively, whether it's detecting someone's interest, understanding their concerns, or building rapport. Here's a tip to practice. The next time you're in a conversation, challenge yourself to speak less and listen more. Instead of jumping in with your own stories or opinions, ask open-ended questions like, "What was that experience like for you?" Or "How do you feel about that?" You'll be amazed at how much more engaging and meaningful your interactions become. But here's the question. How do you balance being an active listener with expressing your own thoughts and opinions confidently? That's where the 6th Stoic hack comes into play, mastering the art of deliberate expression. Let's explore how speaking with intention can elevate not only your presence, but also your impact. Hack 6, mastering the art of deliberate expression. In a world full of noise, how you choose to express yourself can make all the difference. The Stoics, with their emphasis on clarity, intentionality, and self-awareness, understood that true communication is about more than just speaking your mind. It's about speaking with purpose and alignment with your values. The art of deliberate expression is rooted in mindful communication, saying what you mean with meaning. Let's take a moment to consider the impact of words. Think back to a conversation where someone's words left a lasting impression on you. Perhaps it wasn't what they said, but how they said it. They communicated with such clarity, intention, and authenticity that their message resonated deeply with you. This is the power of deliberate expression. When you choose your words carefully and speak with intention, you don't just communicate, you connect. For the Stoics, speech was not to be taken lightly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your words be brief and your actions be in harmony with your words." This means that speaking with deliberation isn't just about choosing the right words. It's about ensuring those words are aligned with your actions, thoughts, and values. Deliberate expression doesn't mean being rigid or overly calculated, it means being thoughtful. It means choosing to respond rather than react. For example, in a heated discussion, instead of raising your voice or making impulsive remarks, a Stoic would take a moment to collect their thoughts and respond with purpose. The goal isn't to win the argument, but to communicate clearly and respectfully. This level of emotional intelligence and self-control is not only appealing, it's rare. Let's break it down with a practical example. Imagine you're in a disagreement with a friend or partner. Rather than interrupting or letting your emotions drive the conversation, you pause and think about your words. You express your point calmly, acknowledging the other person's perspective, while staying true to your own beliefs. This shows maturity, respect, and emotional balance. In turn, people are more likely to listen to you, not because you're the loudest in the room, but because your words carry weight. The beauty of deliberate expression is that it doesn't just apply in high-stakes moments. It's in your everyday conversations too. Whether you're making small talk or engaging in deep discussion, being mindful of your words transforms how you interact with others. You become someone who communicates with clarity, purpose, and authenticity, and that's magnetic. But here's the key. How do you balance being intentional with expressing your true self? How do you stay authentic without coming across as inauthentic or overly reserved? This brings us to the final Stoic hack, embracing vulnerability with strength. Let's dive into how showing vulnerability can not only deepen connections but also empower you to live authentically and attract meaningful relationships. Hack 7. Embracing vulnerability with strength. It might seem counterintuitive, but one of the most powerful ways to attract others and build deep, meaningful connections is by embracing vulnerability. In a world that often glorifies invulnerability and perfection, the Stoic approach teaches us that true strength comes not from hiding our weaknesses, but from owning them and integrating them into our lives. Vulnerability, when coupled with self-awareness and composure, becomes an extraordinary source of strength. The Stoics believed in the importance of accepting their human nature, flaws and all. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." We create stories in our minds about how others might perceive our vulnerabilities, fearing judgment or rejection. But the Stoics were unafraid to confront their imperfections. They understood that acknowledging our weaknesses doesn't make us weak, it makes us human, and in doing so, we free ourselves from the fear of judgment. What does this look like in practice? Imagine you're in a conversation and you share something personal, a challenge you've been facing, a fear you're grappling with, or a past mistake. Rather than hiding it or pretending to have it all figured out, you embrace your truth and express it openly. This act of vulnerability not only makes you more relatable, but also invites others to do the same. It creates a deeper connection because it removes the mask of perfection that so often keeps us at arm's length. The Stoics weren't afraid to show their vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the emperor of Rome, often wrote about his own struggles and flaws in his private journals. He accepted his imperfections as part of his nature, understanding that vulnerability didn't diminish his power, it enhanced his humanity. When you embrace your vulnerability with strength, you invite others to connect with the real you, not a curated version of yourself. This is what makes vulnerability powerful. It's an act of courage. It's not about airing every weakness or seeking sympathy, but rather being honest about what you're experiencing and allowing yourself to be seen for who you truly are. People are drawn to those who are not afraid to be real. When you show up with authenticity, unafraid to let others see both your strengths and your flaws, you create an atmosphere of trust and openness. This fosters a deeper bond with those around you. But how do you embrace vulnerability without overexposing yourself or appearing weak? The key lies in maintaining your self-mastery and emotional equanimity. Vulnerability is only truly powerful when it's balanced by inner strength. the kind of strength that comes from knowing you can face challenges, learn from them, and grow. This combination of openness and inner resilience is magnetic. In the end, the Stoic hacks for attraction are not tricks or manipulations, they are timeless. Principles that help you become the best, most authentic version of yourself. When you cultivate self-mastery, emotional equanimity, intentional indifference, authentic confidence, active listening, deliberate expression, and vulnerability with strength, you become a force of nature, a person who commands respect, attracts meaningful relationships, and lives with purpose. So as you move forward, remember, true attraction isn't about playing games. It's about embracing the Stoic virtues that make you strong, calm, and magnetic. It's about showing up as the real you and letting the world see the power of that authenticity. The journey may take time, but with each step, you'll find that the right people are naturally drawn to you, and the connections you make will be deeper, more meaningful, and rooted in mutual respect. And now, as you begin to integrate these Stoic principles into your daily life, ask yourself, how can you take this inner transformation and apply it in every interaction, with every relationship, and in every situation you face? The true test of these principles isn't how they work in theory, but how they change your life when you live them every day. That's the conclusion of the Stoic hacks for attraction. Each of these principles, grounded in ancient wisdom, builds upon one another to create a framework for becoming not only more magnetic but also more authentic and self-assured. If you embody these Stoic virtues, you'll find that attraction comes naturally, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're living in alignment with your true self. To wrap things up, the Stoic approach to attraction is not about manipulation or tactics. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, embodying self-mastery, emotional composure, and clarity in every interaction. The more you cultivate these qualities, the more you'll attract those who appreciate you for who you truly are. And with that, let me leave you with a Stoic thought to reflect on as you continue this journey. You have power over your mind, not outside events. How will you use that power to shape your relationships, your life, and your connections moving forward? Embrace Stoicism today, like, subscribe, and start transforming your life with these timeless hacks.